Hello, carnivores. It's my 1 year carniversary. That's right. I've been doing this for a year now. We're going to take a little look back. Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Gotting. I'm a practicing orthopedic surgeon, and I've been changing my life with the carnivore diet for 1 year now. I started January of 2024, and my life is completely different. My practice is completely different. And I'm going to tell you all the things that have changed for my life for the better by doing the carnivore diet. And it's opened so many doors for me. It's I've met so many tremendous people. I've learned so many things about my own health, about my patients' health. I feel better than I've felt since I was in my 30s. I feel like my life has just unlimited potential going forward, where I was just sick and fat. And even though I liked to work out, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do because I just couldn't get under control until I started the carnivore diet. And in this last year, I've been able to do some great things. I went up and met Carrie Mann and Dr. Kiltz at Carrie's big carnivore meetup in Wisconsin. I interviewed with Dr. Baker, and I met one of my super carnivore inspirations, and that is, of course, Ferrigno Freedom, Dante Ferrigno. And I was on zero carb life and no carb life, and just met a lot of really great people, and I'm just so enthused about how everything has gone. I took vacations and documented my carnivore vacation in Florida, in New York, and in Spain, and I've just changed who I am as a person. I'm just a more vibrant, fit, happy person. With it's I know it reflects in the way that people see me in the hospital. I mean, I feel so much better promoting health while I'm healthy, as opposed to being obese. Now, I've struggled with obesity my whole life, and I've I've gotten down to a good weight before, but usually by the time I get down there, I run out of steam and it just starts to go back, and then it's just been this crazy yo-yo. And I'll be honest, November of 2024, well, December, really starting at Thanksgiving and going on until New Year's Day, which culminated in I had a Cubano sandwich. And I don't know if you ever had a Cubano sandwich, but they're really good. And so I had sort of been off and on doing some holiday snacking here and there, maybe a little Chex Mix, nothing crazy, not like cookies and well, maybe I had a cookie. Okay, look, December wasn't good. So this month, January 2025, I'm doing the Lion Diet. But it's just been an absolute game changer. My blood pressure now is running in the 120s, and it was in the 170s, 180s on 2 medicines. And we're talking about the upper number, the systolic, before I started. I haven't done my 1 year lab checkup yet, and I guess I'm just going to have to make another video about that. But this is my 1 year, how you doing, on carnivore checkup, and I am doing awesome. I have just so much more belief in what I can do, just for the rest of my life. Not just physically, but I think I can work many more years than I thought I was going to as an orthopedic surgeon, and then maybe as a holistic healthcare provider of some sort. I'm not sure. I might want to just completely get out of healthcare, but I think I will never stop doing overseas missions because those are so fulfilling. But it's been an amazing year. So for those of you who haven't tuned into my channel before, please like and subscribe, of course, but let me give you some background on me. So I'm going to be 55 in May this year of 2025, and I'm an orthopedic surgeon. and I live in Iowa, and I have had a problem my whole life with obesity. I'm what I would consider carb sensitive, or however you wanted to put it. My body doesn't process carbs very well, and I was first obese in about fifth or sixth grade, and then I lost that weight. Back then, I would just eat a little bit less and exercise more, and that kind of kept going up and down through middle school. And in high school, I wrestled and I played football, so I was super fit. Got very heavy my freshman year in college, and it was just a yo-yo ever since then. It's been health has been a problem in my family. My brother, who's only a couple years older than me, passed away 5 years ago of cancer. He was obese his whole life. My father died of cancer a couple years ago, but he had diabetes and heart disease. It runs in my family, and it's just been something that's been really hard to get a hold of. And I just the foods that I like the most are the worst for me. I love pizza. I love spaghetti and bread. Man, I used to bake bread and I would take it right out of the oven. I could eat a whole baguette that I baked from scratch with butter and salt and just make that a meal. And now I just eat the butter and salt and maybe throw a ribeye under it. but but it was I had gotten to the point where I was really sick. I had sleep apnea. I was obese. My cholesterol was terrible. And regardless of what you think about cholesterol and that whole situation, my dad and my grandpa both had the widowmaker lesion, and they, one died from it, the other almost died from it. It's something I can't ignore, regardless of what anybody says. My triglycerides really came down in the first 6 months of the diet. And I'm going to be following up on all this stuff and say some more controversial things on cholesterol, like you should not completely ignore it. That seems to be very controversial in some corners of the carnivore world. I don't think that's reasonable. I think everybody's body is different. You better figure out your body, and if you put the time in and figure it out, you'll be all right. So I'd gotten to the point where I was 53 years old, and well, I guess I was 54. Well, I was 53 and I found out I had sleep apnea. So that was my first sort of that, and hypertension, high blood pressure. Those were my first sort of obesity related morbidities. So when you say morbidity, it means like essentially something that's severe enough to treat. So then I found out I had sleep apnea, and hey, public service message. If you think you have sleep apnea, if you snore and you're really tired all the time, maybe you don't even have to be obese, but certainly if you are obese, go get checked, because it really changed a lot for me. I would get up in the morning and I would think, oh God, how can I get back to bed the soonest? I would run home at lunch. Sometimes I would sleep in the doctor's lounge. Sometimes I would take a nap in between surgeries. If I had 25, 30 minutes in between surgery, I would lay down on the couch and I'd be snoring because I was tired all the time. And then someone said, well, why don't you get checked for sleep apnea? And so I did, and I had it, very severe. And as soon as I got it, things started to clear up and things started to get a lot better for me. And then I had been on the Atkins diet when I was losing that weight in early high school, late junior high. And I had kind of been off and on that kind of a thing. And then I picked up keto a few years ago. And I would do keto during the week. Now I'm talking about just before I started the carnivore diet. I would do keto during the week. And then on the weekend, I would be cooking for my family and I would end up eating some spaghetti or this or that. And I would go off. I was in this 10 or 15 pound. I literally would gain 10 pounds every weekend, sometimes 15 if it was a long weekend. I was just on this yo-yo going up and down and up and down. And the keto was working, but I couldn't keep consistent on it. Because here's the thing, if you really love carbs, and I really love carbs, then taking a little bit of 60 grams of carbs for a day just makes you want more. It's like, oh, well, was that half a baked potato I ate? Well, was that maybe other potatoes were smaller than those potatoes? Maybe I'll have a little bit more potato. And then you have a bite here, a nibble there. and then you're done. I mean, all of a sudden, if you're eating a ketogenic diet and you're over the carb limit, you're eating so much fat that you're not going to do well. So then I started looking. I was desperate. I was desperate, and I started looking online. It was Jordan Peterson who talked about the carnivore diet first, when I heard it first. And then I saw Dr. Baker on Rogan, and then I started looking at Dr. Barry, and I'm like, what in the world? This doesn't make any sense. It's against everything I was taught in medical school. And these people should all be dead. And so, the deeper I started peeling away the layers of the onion, the more I realized, oh my gosh, number one, it's not just a diet, it's a lifestyle, but it's also mindset. Because once you start to realize, now I've known that the food pyramid was inverted for a long time, from way back from my keto days. But then, I still, I would eat fish because red meat is so bad for you. And then I started looking into those. You can look back at some of my videos. The Harvard red meat causes diabetes study is just like trash. I wouldn't even call it trash science. It's just trash. It's the ultimate in misinformation. So, once you start looking at it, you'll see in this country we have an inverted food pyramid. I interviewed a rancher the other day, and I found out that she's paid by the airlines to sequester carbon with her cattle. But the media is telling us that eating meat is bad for the planet. Go figure. So it's interesting. It unclutters your mind. The carnivore diet unclutters your mind. Number one, because you're not so foggy, because you don't have all those preservatives and all the carbohydrates and all the things that are really, really bad for you. And, it really, I think, makes you think more clearly, and it probably causes a little bias. Look, we're all biased, right? But I'm just telling you, I've never felt like I do now. And now for January, to make up for my December that wasn't so great, I've been doing the lion diet, and I feel fantastic. And I lost all the weight that I gained in December, and I am looking forward to getting those last 10 or 15 pounds off that I've been working on really for about, it seems like I got about where I am at about 8 months in, and the last 4 months I've kind of been at a plateau. And then of course, December made me go up a little bit, but now I'm back down to my November weight, and I feel fantastic. And I tell you, I think the lion diet does make me feel different. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not eating the cheese, because I've cut cheese completely, obviously, on the lion diet. I'm also not eating eggs or anything like that. I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't think I'm going to be lion diet for the rest of my life. I actually think, and I've said this from the very beginning. Well, at the very beginning, I said, I'm only going to do carnivore for 6 months and see how it goes. But then after 6 months, I was down 30, 40 pounds. And then I was like, well, I'm not stopping now. And so the last 6 months, I just kept feeling better, wobbled a little bit in December. I am human, and it was the holidays. But I'm reinvigorated for it. I'm real excited about it. And the lion diet's been great for me. I think at some point when I get my body where it needs to be, I may cycle through sort of maybe paleo, then keto, then carnivore, then lion, or something. Maybe I'll call it the paleo, keto, carnivore, lion diet. PKCL, the PKCL, Dr. Rick's PKCL diet. Look for the book soon. I'm just kidding. But someday, who knows? But anyway, I am just going to continue on with the lion diet. At least, I mean, it's later in January now, and I would say that I'm not down where I wanted to be. So it's probably going to be another couple, 3 months on the lion diet at least. And who knows? Maybe I'll be making a 6-month lion diet video. I don't know. And it's just been an amazing. I tell you, the ways my life has changed. Another thing, I never thought I would have a YouTube channel. It never occurred to me to want a YouTube channel. But I recognized my failures in the past, and I said, if I'm on YouTube and I even get a couple 300 subscribers, well, that's a couple, 300 people watching to see if Dr. Rick's going to get fat again. And thank you all who have subscribed. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I've got over 3,000 subscribers. I never would have thought that. I'm not trying to hit the algorithm and build my channel. That's not my goal. I just want to help some people. I want to inspire some people, and I want to keep myself honest. And who knows where this thing will go, but the more I keep doing this, the healthier I keep getting and the happier I keep getting. And the, I'm riding my mountain bike in a way that I haven't in a long time. I went snowboarding with my kids, and I was able to really keep up with them. As a matter of fact, I was out in front of them most of the time. And I can do all these things. We had a friend come up from Oklahoma to do a little snowboarding in Iowa, and we have a little bunny hill here. And I ran up and down that hill probably 15, 20 times that day. And I was fine doing it. It's these things that I never thought at 54 I'd be able to do, especially when I was 53 and I felt so bad. And I'm going to be 55 this year, and I'm really hoping to do a big adventure trip this year. That was my goal. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that, but I am hoping to. There's a few that I would love to do. There's a mountain bike and e-mountain bike trip through Andalusia in Spain, and then there's a foil surfing trip in Costa Rica. Foil surfing is where you get up above the wave on a hydrofoil on a surfboard, towed in by a boat. There's some snowboarding places I'd like to. I just want to get an adventure trip in this year, and so I'm hoping to get to do that for my 55th birthday. But just everything's better. My relationship with everybody is better, and I'm practicing medicine better. I've incorporated into my practice. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I have incorporated metabolic health. We're now testing for vitamin D in my office and supplementing with that if patients don't have it, because I'm in tune with metabolic health. I give my patients essential amino acids before surgery now. I've had multiple patients, had a couple last week, who have lost 50 plus pounds on the carnivore diet. I had a guy come to me. I have a little bit of a radio show I've had for quite some time on the statewide radio station here, and I just talk about orthopedics and kind of talk about my family and what I'm doing and things like that. So this guy was listening to my radio program, and he heard about the carnivore diet. He had been trying to get a knee replaced, and nobody would do it because he was too obese. His body mass index was over 7. And he got on the carnivore diet, got himself in shape, and he drove out here 2.5 hours to come see me. He said, "Man, you're the one that got me in shape for this knee replacement. I want you to do it." And also we have the Mako robot, which is the best way to do knee replacements. If you were able to have a Mako robot knee replacement, I would do it that way. Just letting you know. Anyway, so my whole life is different. I'm a different person. I'm happier, I'm healthier. My ability to continue to help people by being an orthopedic surgeon has been extended. I don't even know. I met Dr. Kiltz. I don't know if you ever checked out Dr. Kiltz. He's awesome. He's a fertility specialist. He's 70 and he's charging. He's still got, 3, 4, 5 clinics. Flies his plane around in between his clinics. It's just inspiring. See, these are the kind of people I met, like Carrie Mann from Homestead Howe. Just super inspiring people whose lives have just been tremendously impacted. Now, Dr. Kiltz, he's like my new hero now, because he's just such an animal, man. He's just like so full of energy, and he looks like he's about 45, and he's a real hero for me to look at in real time, in real life, and model myself after. And when I'm 70, I hope people are looking at me going, "Man, look at that guy. He's still doing orthopedic surgery, or maybe flying to third world countries and operating on people," which I haven't done in a while because my kids have gotten in the way of that from a time perspective. But honestly, carnivore has changed everything about my life in a way that I really could never have imagined. I never would have thought that I would be able to be as healthy as I am right now at gonna be 55 in a couple months. And so if you are considering the carnivore diet, I would jump in. There's nothing that tastes as good as I feel right now. There's no food that tastes so good that I would give up what I feel is going to be potentially my future now because of, not potentially, it is my future. My future is just unbridled because of the carnivore diet. And I couldn't be any more enthusiastic or happy about it. I hope that if you're looking to this video right now for some inspiration, I hope you can see the impact it's had on my life. And I hope that if you really want to make a change, I'm telling you, carnivore is a way for some people. It might not be the only way, but you won't know until you try. And I'm telling you, it might just change everything for you. So I'm glad you came along on this journey with me. If you came for the whole year, thank you very much. If you're just seeing this for the first time, this channel, hey, subscribe, come along with me and see how we go. Get those last 17 or so pounds off. You can see what kind of an adventure trip I might take this year, and just come on the journey. See how it goes. It's fun. It's healthy. It's happy. So take care. I'll be back again soon.